You ever get that feeling? You're reading an article in English, no problem. But then a native speaker starts talking, and poof, it's just a blur of sound. You hear it, but you can't quite grab the meaning. I know, it's super frustrating, and you are definitely not alone.
And you probably think the answer is just to listen more. But look, if you're already doing that and you feel stuck, then the issue isn't how much you're listening, it's about how you're listening. So let's talk about how to make that switch from just hearing sounds to actually understanding what's being said.
So, welcome. In this explainer, we're going to break down 7 really powerful methods to get your listening skills where you want them to be. Think of this as your roadmap, a way to train your ears, finally understand native speakers, and, start speaking a lot more naturally yourself. Okay, so here's the game plan. We'll start with what I call the English listening gap. Then we'll get into the right mindset, build some solid habits, and talk about smart immersion. And don't worry, we'll wrap it all up with a super simple action plan you can start, today. All right, let's get right into it. The English listening gap. You know what I'm talking about, right? It's that super frustrating place where you're putting in the hours listening to English, but your fluency just feels stuck. The reason is actually pretty simple, but it's huge. It's not that you're listening, it's all about how you're doing it. So, how do we fix this? Well, it all starts with our first set of methods, and these are all about changing your approach from the inside out. We need to shift how you think about listening. It's time to start thinking like a fluent listener, not just a learner. Okay, method 1. This one's a biggie. You have to listen for the meaning, not for a direct translation of every word. Seriously, fluent speakers, they're listening for the big picture, the main idea. When you hit a word you don't know, and you will, the key is not to panic and freeze. Just let it go. Use the context, the speaker's tone, all the clues around it to get the gist and keep moving. So yeah, it's all about this tiny mental shift. Instead of getting hung up on what does that word mean, you need to train your brain to ask a much better question. What is this person trying to say? Trust me, focusing on the overall message instead of the tiny details, it's an absolute game changer. All right, method 2 is all about training your ear with repetition. And here's a hard truth. Listening to something just once, it's almost never enough. Your brain craves repetition to really lock things in. Think about it. The first time you listen, you catch the general idea. The second time, you start picking up more details. But that third time, oh yeah, that's where the magic really starts to happen. And you can see it right here. On that first listen, maybe you're only catching, say, 30% of what's being said. You go back for a second listen, and boom, you're up to 50%. By the third time through, you're hitting 70% or even more. This is when your brain starts to really hear it. The pronunciation, the way sentences are structured, the natural flow. So no, repetition isn't boring. It's like taking your ears to the gym. Method 3 is one of my favorites. Feel the rhythm before you speak. You see, English isn't just a list of words. It's got music to it. There's a rhythm, a flow, a certain beat. It's about paying attention to which words get stressed, how sounds kind of blend together. The melody of a question versus a statement. Once you start hearing that music, you're one step closer to making that music yourself. Exactly. I mean, think about it. Native speakers don't talk like this, right? We connect our words into these smooth, flowing phrases. And when you start listening for that music, the rise and fall, the stress, something amazing happens. Your brain just starts to soak it up. And before you know it, those patterns will start showing up in your own speech, making you sound so much more natural. All right, so we've shifted our mindset. Now let's talk about building the habits to back it up. Because, knowing how to listen is great, but actually doing it consistently, that's where you're going to see some huge results. And that brings us to method 4, creating a daily listening habit. And here's the absolute key. Consistency beats duration every single time. It's just like going to the gym, right? A quick 15-minute workout every day is way more effective for building muscle than one monster 2-hour session on a Saturday. I mean, look at this. Trying to cram an hour of listening in once a week just doesn't work that well. But 15 minutes every single day, that's the sweet spot. That daily exposure is what trains your brain to recognize sounds and patterns without even thinking about it. Okay, method 5. This one might seem a little counterintuitive at first. So many of us think we need to listen to everything, dozens of podcasts, tons of YouTube channels. But honestly, all that jumping around can just overwhelm your brain. The real secret?
Choose fewer but better sources. Find just one or two things you genuinely like and stick with them. It really boils down to this. Depth is so much better than variety. Instead of trying to sample everything, you're going deep. When you listen to the same host or the same show over and over, your brain gets used to their voice, their accent, the words they use. That familiarity is like building a solid foundation. It makes understanding everything else so much easier and faster. Okay, we're making progress. You've got the right mindset, you're building the right habits. Now it's time for the really fun part, creating smart English immersion. This is about making English a natural part of your world. So, once you're feeling comfortable with your chosen sources, it's time to level up. Method 6 is about expanding your listening world, gradually. This means moving away from that clean, perfect textbook English and diving into the real world. And yeah, real English is messy. It's faster, there's background noise, people interrupt each other, but that's how we actually talk. It's the next logical step. So where do you find this real English? Start looking for unscripted stuff. Podcasts with interviews are amazing for this, real conversations, vlogs, even reality TV. This is where you'll hear the slang, the natural speed, and all the imperfections. This is what closes that gap between understanding an English lesson and actually understanding a real person. And that brings us to our final method, number 7. This one is all about connecting listening to your daily life. Basically, you weave English into the things you're already doing. Listen to a podcast while you're cooking dinner, put on an audiobook while you're walking the dog or on your commute. The goal is to make English just normal, part of the soundtrack of your day. When it stops feeling like studying and just feels like life, that's when fluency really starts to click. Whew, okay, we've covered a ton of ground. But all this information doesn't mean anything if you don't use it. So let's get down to business. Here is your action plan, how you can start improving literally today. But before we get to the plan, I want you to remember one thing, one fundamental truth. Fluent speakers are always great listeners first. You just can't speak what you haven't truly heard. Your confidence, your vocabulary, your natural rhythm, it's all built on that solid foundation of listening. So here it is, your simple starting plan. No excuses. Number 1, choose one piece of audio, something you actually like. 2, listen for just 10 minutes. That's it. 3, listen to that same 10 minutes again. 4, remember to focus on the meaning, not every single word. And 5, do it again tomorrow. That's the whole plan. It's so simple, but I promise you it is so incredibly powerful. So you see, getting fluent isn't about listening more. It's about listening smarter and doing it consistently. If you start small and just stick with it, you are going to see a huge improvement. So the only question I have for you is, which one of these methods are you going to try first?